This session, we're going to take a look at how to expand our worldview into more diverse perspectives. Over the course of our lives, as we experience events and get to know different people, things happen to us, we translate those events into meaning, and pretty soon we end up with our perspective on how things work. That's our worldview. Yet research in well-being shows us that the more we can expand that worldview to include paradoxical and often conflicting points of view, the more understanding we'll have for the truth of how many people may see the world very differently. This affects us on multiple levels. At the individual level, it's very difficult to learn and be curious and be authentically open to growth if we think our perspective is absolutely right and everything else is wrong. As children, we go about the world in an open state. We're very excited to see how other things may work and interact with each other. But as we get older, the brain shifts and we become much more fixed in our understanding. Interpersonally, this has lots of effects. It creates distance between ourselves and others. We see things as black or white, red or blue in some cases. I'm right, you're wrong. That type of closed perspectives makes it very difficult to connect and to have an understanding and appreciation for the gifts that others are bringing into the situation. And finally, culturally, of course, right now we're all experiencing the large-scale effects of significant systems of oppression, where one group's perspective has dominance over another's. And so how could we remove some of these obstacles to diverse perspectives? What's standing in our way? Well, we believe that one of the fundamental aspects that needs to be addressed is understanding our own judgment. Judgments have a tendency to define how we see others and to put them into boxes in a way that makes us right and them wrong. It leads to othering. It leads to isolated thinking. It leads to a lack of compassion. And so in this exercise today, we're going to take some time to explore three different types of judgment. The first judgment is implicit judgment. Implicit judgment is often unconscious. It may be an implicit interpretation of just how the world works. Oftentimes, stereotypes are examples of this. We see one person of a certain race or profession or nationality, and we believe that everyone in that category acts the same way. That type of implicit stereotyping is very unhealthy. It doesn't stay open to embracing each person as the unique, true being that they are. Another type of judgment is goal-oriented or end-goal judgment. End-goal judgment is where we want to put a prediction on something, like if we have to give a student a certain grade, or we have to predict how well that student's going to do in college based on a certain test score. It's a way to anticipate an outcome based on your judgment of what's important for that particular person. In my particular case, I had an example where a teacher once told my son he would never be more than a C or B minus student. Well, she was looking at him through a particular lens of how she judged the value of students. In the end, his creativity led him to college where he thrived and made A's. And so he simply wasn't going to conform to the end goal judgment of that teacher. He was going to decide for himself what he was capable of. And finally, the third type of judgment is explicit judgment. An explicit judgment is when we intentionally put a judgment on a person that we're aware of based on our values. So if we believe, for example, someone is not very good at math and we think math is very important, then we may say that person is incompetent. Well, that's me explicitly stating my values in the form of a judgment. It may very well be that that person's leadership skills or communication skills or creative skills are incredibly valuable. In fact, make them much more productive at work than the math skills that I thought were important. But that's my explicit judgment. So these are examples of ways that we're going to challenge each of us in this exercise today to stop for a moment. Think of a situation where we are unable to see the benefits of multiple perspectives. How do other people think, feel, experience, interpret the same sorts of life situations that we do in a different way? How to lift them up, strip away our judgments for them, and really celebrate that this is a gift to us to find ways to embrace people from all walks of life with all worldviews and all perspectives so that we can all enjoy our journey together.